This is the voice of Killer Cross, and right about now, we're about to take it to the max.
This is the pretty badass Kelly Klein telling you to turn it to 11 and take it to the max.
Hey everybody, it's the interview queen Alicia Atute here, and you are currently listening to the Max Wrestling Podcast. It's time to take it to the max.
What's up, everybody? This is AJ Kirsch, one half of the MLW commentary team, and you're listening to the Max Wrestling Podcast. It's time to take it to the max.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Madhouse.
Hey, this is the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. Welcome to the Madhouse.
Hey guys, this is Brittney Savage, and you are listening to the Max Wrestling Podcast. It's time to take it to the max.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Max Wrestling in the Hot Seat. I am your host, Mike Larkin. And joining me for this edition of Max Wrestling in the Hot Seat is my fellow co-host on the Pop Culture History Podcast. You can see a lot of great co-hosts on there, from Ty Emery, from my guest here, and a lot of great guests provided a variety of topics from music, movies, and just shooting the breeze and just going off kilter as we do. My homie, my friend, Ms. Brittney Savage. Brittney Savage, hello. Welcome to Max Wrestling in the Hot Seat, and welcome to the Promo League.
Hello, how are you?
I am good, folks. We just did a show a couple days ago. We were talking a bunch of stuff. Cars were going by. We were shooting the breeze on. Oh my God, friggin'! I don't even want to hear the Jennifer's Body argument anymore when you're talking about it killed me. My God, we're just diffusing that right now for people that don't know Lindsay Lohan and I Know Who Killed Me. Good Lord. No way. After that, picking the movies. Never again. Again, if you will.
I mean, both are bad, so.
That is true, but which is badder? Which is badder? I would say I Know Who Killed Me was badder with her charged leg. Are you kidding me?
I think it's which was worse, Michael.
Better, worse, whatever. You grammar police. All right. Whatever, man. Yeah. Kind of like Rocky Balboa. Hey, I may be a little punchy, but I ain't stupid. I'm like Rocky 2 at the commercial, right?
Hey, the Rocky movies are my favorite. Some of my favorites.
That is true, but I gotta say this. Would you kind of like define yourself as that? Because you and I have our moments. Would you say you a little bit punchy, Brittney Savage?
Oh, all the time.
A little bit punchy.
Sometimes I sound like Rocky Balboa. Adrian!
Adrian!
It just comes out.
It does. But regardless of that, I gotta say this about you. And here's the funny thing: like before, when I first started, and I'll be honest with you folks, because we're friends, we're gonna get the breeze here. When I first started getting into podcasting, I always wanted to provide a platform, not just for people to tell their stories, but from wrestling, music, etc., as a lot of people can see with my work. But for me, I always wanted to give back, because I remember as a kid going to the New York. Oh my goodness, the New York Community Center there in Deer Park, the Deer Park Community Center in Deer Park, Long Island, and then just going into the NYWC Sportatorium. For me, going there on the weekends and seeing people like yourself, like Mega, like Apollyon, like Nikki Adams, like so many people from the NYWC days, that was my childhood right there. So if you were to tell me I was to interview people like yourself and many more, I would have told you were nuts. But I'm glad that I pursued the career that we have, and basically just to say, I'm glad that we connected through these platforms.
Yes, for sure.
And that's the thing too, because when I first interviewed you, and here's what's funny about that, because it's kind of like what we do with our shows, because most of that was wrestling talk, but then once I say something like the Backstreet Boys, it kind of goes into a 20-minute conversation about the Backstreet Boys.
Of course.
That's what's great about it, though, just because, and here's the thing, growing up as a youngin', and I told you this, when I had I'm not ashamed to admit it, people, because, it's popular culture. I had a Backstreet Boys Millennium t-shirt when I was 7, and then later on I had to give it to Goodwill because it didn't fit me. So some kid has that Backstreet Boys t-shirt now, but it's one of those things, where people connect, and, just I gotta just say, I figured I'd start up by saying I'm grateful for your friendship for these past 3 years. It's been a great ride.
Thank you. Same here. It definitely has been.
You're welcome. And don't think I didn't see that. But here's the thing, people. I love, birthday wishes, and I love just interacting. I love overall interactions and continuity, and family is key with me. Same with all my Promo League family and what have you. You get to meet a lot of great people in this world. You, Miss Happy Birthday to my favorite male podcaster. I appreciated that tweet. That was very nice. I wasn't not expecting that verbiage, but I appreciated that.
Of course, you're welcome. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to wish somebody a happy birthday. So if you're that little percentage that's not wishing anybody a happy birthday, especially right now during this time frame, you should probably unfriend that person.
Absolutely
because you're not a true friend.
not. I mean, if you don't get the Facebook happy birthdays, I mean, for those that'll
Right.
tell you, my graduates at 2010, I used to do that. Like, what's 2 seconds just to write happy birthday or even DM them happy birthday? You know, you never know what that person's going through. So a little acknowledgement, a little verbiage, a little sentiment never hurts anybody.
Yeah, even if you miss that person's birthday, it still pops up and says that it's a belated. So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, even a belated is fine. I mean, I try to go out of my way, write it on Facebook, I'll write it on Twitter as much as I possibly can, and then texting and stuff like that. So, it
Like I
doesn't
said,
take much.
see, I even said this to you in Messenger, man. Same mind, same grind. We are on that wavelength, and I love that. I love that passion about you. So, anyway,
Thank
besides the fact you're welcome, besides putting over your overall greatness that you are,
you.
let's talk about this here because, man, I'm so happy that you're involved in the promo league. Now, if you look at the current rankings in the promo league, they are as follows. Well, we got the champion, the Demoness, who is current champion, and the people that are in the promo league right now. Current rankings: number one is former promo champion Mr. RWT Kingpin Amir Blackman Costello. The current reigning knowledge champion Mr. Moses Marquez. Travis the Walker Anderson is in third. Coriel Coulter, aka Cypher, is in fourth. Mike Jolly's in fifth. Brittney Savage, you are in sixth. Phoenix is in seventh, and eight is Ted P. De Niro. So, thoughts of being in at number 6 in the rankings, even though we have not seen action from you in the promo.
I was just about to say, I'll take whatever. Even if I wasn't on it, that's fine because I haven't had an opportunity to do anything yet. But I think it's pretty cool that I'm 6. Hopefully, I can eventually be higher once I do get a promo out there. I'm just waiting on my challenge. So, whoever wants to challenge me first, bring it on. I'm ready.
Yes, you are like the old bring it on, like dare I say Kirsten Dunst, ready to bring it on, ready to get your cheer on. Well, here's the thing
That's
about you.
right.
I've seen I've seen you cut a lot of serious promos. I've seen you cut a lot of fun promos. And here's the thing. Like I always enjoyed the heel, like mean girl, my shit don't stink kind of deal. And I've always enjoyed that about your promos because it's very easily, hateable, but you're also doing your job for being hated, right?
Exactly. Those are probably my easiest promos and most fun to do. So I love, being a heel.
Well,
It
that's the
comes
thing.
natural. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I was about to say, is it that kind of you turned with the volume way up?
I mean, I'm always loud in general. So, anytime it sounds like I'm being annoying or, rude, and I'm not intending on being those things. So it just kind of came into play with my character inside of the ring. So I'm just naturally loud. But obviously, everybody can be a bitch. So I just turn it around when I have to. But then, I could be a stupid, ditzy blonde like I was when I first started. So, either or. It depends on the mood.
It's kind of like the girl next door kind of thing. Well, I wouldn't say ditzy blonde. I wouldn't say ditzy, but I would kind of say like, you and Miss April, AJ Lee, Alicia as well. I cannot discredit Alicia because I got to say, you got to work with a lot of great partners besides AJ. But if people have not looked up Alicia's work, Alicia is another one that is incredibly talented.
Yeah, for sure. When I first got into wrestling, I was told to watch a lot of independent workers, especially females, obviously. So she was actually the one I first started watching, and her promos were always on point. So I kind of just followed her with whatever she did, and I kind of studied her promos. So
And that's the thing, like that's what's great about learning and getting adapted to that. Because I mean, you look at the wrestling schools in New York, like we talked about NYWC, Creative Pro now, and we've touched upon like there really wasn't a lot of schools back in the day. But for you, I mean, everything's right at our fingertips now, and you're absolutely getting in there and learning. And we've touched upon in a couple of months, and here you are on SmackDown against Beth Phoenix on the way out, like Ryan Cabrera. But I digress. Got to get it in. It's one of those things, Miss Savage, where it's just like, man. You're coming at an amazing time. Everything, there's a hotbed like TNA is right at its hot. I mean, WWE, you had just coming off the year of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, WrestleMania 25 that stole the show. So you were in an immense group, an immense time period for professional wrestling.
yeah, it was good. And my thing going into wrestling is I wanted to study who I would be potentially working with down the line. And I knew that Alicia was one of the top ladies that they had at WSU. So obviously I was going to study her and Mercedes Martinez, and then I even studied the boy diva Rick Cataldo. I studied just about everybody that was on a WSU roster, just so I can get familiar with their work and familiar with their promos. Because you don't want to go into something not knowing anything, not knowing who people are, because if you really want to wrestle, then you should know who people are, not just on TV, but on the independent scene as well.
So I'm glad that you actually brought that up, because I was about to say that to you just for a nice segue, and I'm really glad you brought this up because I want to touch upon this. Isn't it funny that there are some people that won't even go back and watch their matches to learn? They just, oh, I don't, why do I need to see it? I was in it, so I was there, I would know. I think that's very keen that you have to study and, just watch your match, try to find a trait, try to find a flaw. That just helps you better on and within your future matches and your overall career.
Right, exactly. Like even like when you get into the ring for the first time or the first few times, you don't want to watch, like we spoke about it last time. Like now I can't watch half my matches because I'm like, oh dear God, they're awful. But when I was first wrestling, obviously I rewatched those matches no matter how awful they were, just so I can learn from them and I can do something different and better myself for next time, and even take the criticism from others that are working with me or watching my work in the back. So I mean, don't ever take criticism as a bad thing. It's how you learn and how you grow.
Of course, and especially constructive criticism, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people, when I was training, a lot of people, they would be offended by it. And I'm like, don't get offended by it. It's what you learn from and how you grow. And me, I wouldn't get upset. I would get angry, but not at anybody else, just at myself, because I'm like, I know I can do this better. And I would keep pushing myself harder and harder each time. So definitely don't just take everything with like a grain of salt, you know?
That is true. And I mean, what's interesting about that is too, I mean, whether it's like I've teased you about this and we'll touch upon it because I can. So when it comes to like your wrestling maneuvers, like the cutter, for example, I mean, you look at the Ace Crusher, the RKO. Like for me, it didn't matter whatever you call it. I just like that move because it's very impactful. It's kind of like to quote Randy Orton, out of nowhere, you can hit at any position, and I love just the intensity of the maneuver. Now, for instance, you talking about not going up to the top for that axe handle that we always joke about. But I also say picture it like this: one of the most iconic matches in wrestling history, Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, SummerSlam 1992 at Wembley. So they're in the UK, and look at Bret Hart's matches. He comes off the top, with the little axe handle, little diving, forearm to the face, to the mush. So I mean, Brittney Savage. I mean, in a way, would you kind of say you're the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be? You got that heart? Am I correct on that? And is that a fair assessment of your overall character, Miss Brittney Savage?
No. as okay, like as a cocky individual playing a character, I guess, but like real life, I wouldn't say that at all, because do I think there's a lot of people out there that are a hell of a lot better than I was? Yes. Because again, you have these ladies who are a lot younger now than I am, and even still, like they do fancy schmancy moves and whatnot. So to everybody else, they're the best because they can do those moves. But again, as long as you can get in the ring and tell a story, that's what makes you a good wrestler. Not fancy moves. But I'm not downplaying anybody that does these fancy moves. But to a lot of fans, that's who the best is. People that can do flips to the outside, not people that come off the middle rope with an
Hey, man.
handle. You know what I'm saying?
I get it, but I'm just trying to give you like a push.
No, I get it.
God, man,
Yes, thank you. You gave me credit.
You're welcome. I was giving you credit, even though you're a height, fear, and SOB. So,
No, I appreciate it.
yeah, whatever. No, I'm kidding.
No, I do. I appreciate it. I just, I'm very blunt,
Well,
especially when it comes to myself.
I'm also trying not to laugh because let's be honest here. Because, all right, we live in a day and age, which I'm going to say this right now, if we're being blunt here, a lot of flip flop, a lot of flippity flap action. I'm going to say it's the era of the spot fest, dare I say the clusterfucks, and I'm not downgrading anybody either, but it's like, all right, let's do a tope over here. It's a tope over there. It's like a tope for everyone. We're giving out cars like Oprah. So it's one of those things where like I can appreciate like something off the middle rope like a Bret Hart style, or just an axe handle, or just joint manipulation, systematic dissection, working over the body. That's why I like watching old school William Regal and stuff like that. And just I like how you tell the story and work the match and the emotions. Like for instance, Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin WrestleMania 13, right? The blood coming down the face, the imagery. Now it's just, oh, here, let me do a flip over here. Let me do a flip over there. To the outside. Tope con hilo. Tope suicida. Which I get it. And I love the aerial assault action, if that makes sense. Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's high octane aerial assault, which is great. But it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of much at times.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love stuff like that, like the lucha and all that stuff. I love it. But from like an actual like wrestling perspective, you're not gonna do all these flip flops after somebody just wails on you for 20 minutes straight. You're not gonna get up and start flipping around and stuff. If you're in a real, you're not gonna move like that.
Of
That's
course.
how my mind works inside of wrestling.
Oh no, I understand. I mean, it's kind of like where I would listen to like Stone Cold Steve Austin now. Stone Cold Steve Austin being the true vet that he is, right?
Mhm.
So I look at it like this: like when he's having a conversation with like Jake the Snake Roberts, and look at Jake the Snake Roberts right now in AEW with Lance Hoyt, right? When you think of Jake Roberts, what do you think of? The innovator of the DDT, you know, the
Yep.
man who created the DDT. Now, when you knew when Jake the Snake Roberts hit that DDT, you knew the match was over, right? You knew it was
Right.
done.
Yep. Unless the person's foot was super close towards the rope, you or their hands, you know.
Ring awareness over here, Savage.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But it's one of those things now where it's like used as a traditional, and it kind of also goes back to the super kick and not downplaying like, you know, two young bucks out there. I'm just saying, like, super kick party, it's great, but it's like when you saw Shawn Michaels, for example, hit the sweet chin music, you knew it was over, if that makes sense.
Right. And I always think to his match with Ric Flair, like when he and Ric Flair were in the match together. Boom. That's what I always think about. And then people do, like you said, like a super kick, and then people kick out, and it's kind of like, I totally understand what you're saying.
You know what it is too, and also like, well, I'm sorry, I love you, the Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 20, one of the iconic moments. Come on, the man mouths, I'm sorry, I love you. That storytelling, Flair's crying, he's got his fists up, telling him to do it. You can feel that, like you can
Yep.
feel that emotion. So, and then like going back to super kicks for a second, it's like okay, like the Canadian Destroyer, right? And I'm not. Here's the thing with Petey Williams because he like. I like Petey Williams, but after a while, it's like okay, people do the move. It's like traditional. Like look at Adam Cole, right? But it's like I'll use Petey Williams as an example like the Canadian Destroyer, when he would hit the Canadian Destroyer, like the first time you see him hit the flip pile driver, it's a sick move, right? It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's unique. Now everybody's doing a damn Canadian Destroyer in a match, so I see his point on that. But you know what it is too? Like wrestling has evolved, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what it is about it? Too many near falls. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When something is like the finish, it should just be the finish. Like you know when you're watching a match now and it's like, man, this should have ended like 10 minutes ago, or that should have been the finish right there. Like I looked at Cody Rhodes, for example. Like he was taking on Shawn Spears on AEW. Like he hit Shawn Spears with two of the crossroads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Impactful. It's like a reverse neck breaker. You flip him over, right? Hits him
Mm-hmm.
with two, latches onto it. 1-2, he kicks out, puts him in the figure four, and you know, not tapping. You know, they his shoulders to the mat. 1-2-3. They did it like that. I'm like, why couldn't the two crossroads be the finish?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it and I get it, but you know, there's some things you can get, but you don't like it, and that's some of the things that happen there. And we're not trying to downgrade wrestling here, but I mean, just sometimes it's kind of like the lost art of let's go to the finish. You know, we're set here. We don't have to do too many of this, too many of that, too many flash. A little bit into it. It's like it could get convoluted at times.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it though, because, you know, he's trying to put him over in a way by like, oh my God, he kicked out of his finisher. Oh my God, he did the impossible, you know? So like things like that, as long as you don't have X, Y, and Z enter the ring and you hit the person with like two crossroads, like you said, multiple people, then it's fine if one person kicks out. But if it's a lot, then you have to get a new finisher.
Exactly. And I mean, not to sound like wrestling traditionalists here, but I mean, it's the art form of wrestling because, again, and when you go back and look at nostalgia, and I got to give a shout out to our boys, Travis, the Walker Anderson, and Moses Marquez, because they do a lot of great stuff on the Retro Rewind, and my boys, and Dazzy, and the Butcher, and Travis, Max Wrestling. It's one of those things where you watch and look at the nostalgia that we had back in the day. Like, okay, like one of my favorite matches is Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, the undisputed title match, the ladder match on Raw, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hardy's the ultimate underdog. You know, he's coming from behind. He's hitting him with a chair. He's doing these moves. He is weakening the Undertaker. Undertaker is pounding the snot out of him. Then he gets that hope. There's that iconic JR call, climb the ladder, kid. You'll make yourself famous. And then Undertaker hits him with the chair, choke slam. And then there's the mutual respect after the match. Well, after he gives him the last ride and just shows Jeff's intestinal fortitude. Like that's storytelling to me right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely is.
It's just but there's some stuff I'm gonna admit there's a lot of great wrestling out there as a person who watches wrestling each and every week. I love it, but there's some things where it's just like you know what I'm saying, and which is pretty much like in everything. So
Yeah. No,
it's
that's true.
it's subjective, but anyway, we digress after we just ranted on professional wrestling.
That's what we do.
Nice. Well, no. Well, see, this is also one of the reasons why I do other variety of shows, because I'll be honest with you, I can't talk wrestling almost every day because it'll just make me annoyed. And I like going to pop culture and making fun of her nerdiness as well because we're both nerds. So
Yeah,
on that side of
exactly.
things, it's infectious. Feel it flowing through the veins. Anyway, warrior style. So now I gotta ask you, since you are a part of the promo league, what's great about the promos is it's artistic expression, and we get to have fun with it, let it flow, be creative, get the creative juices flowing, and just pretty much go free range. Just don't get to make it too personal. Just have fun is the overall objective here. So I gotta ask you, growing up, who were some of your favorite wrestling promos? Like from me, Randy Macho Man Savage, and me, Ultimate Warrior, because he was batshit. But for you, who were some of your favorite wrestling promos, or what was one of your favorite promos?
Um, Definitely The Rock, obviously. Chris Jericho, he's good on the mic as well. Even John Cena's good. And then who else would I say? Let me think. From sorry, I'm trying to think from a female that's good on the mic. I would say, all right, I would say Mercedes, to be honest. Mercedes Martinez. I always enjoyed her mic work from, a woman wrestler standpoint. So definitely those, I guess. Even actually Angelina Love, she cuts really good promos too.
Okay. Now, I will say this about Mercedes Martinez because I have seen said promos on the indie very much intensified and very much just really kind of like a take on who she is. Because, again, for someone who's been wrestling since like the early 2000s on the indies and now she's finally a part of NXT, I am so, and I know you can say this as someone who's gotten in there. I mean, the best is yet to come for Mercedes Martinez.
Oh, no, for sure. For sure. I'm looking forward to it.
And then you
I
look at
definitely
it.
am.
Well, here's where the Angelina Love comes in from. This beautiful people, the ditzy heel, the mean girls type of heel. For me, like when you saw Angelina Love as the Knockouts champion, right? Like for me, I remember her bouts against Tara, aka Victoria, or whether it be like Awesome Kong or Mickey James. Like the goal and the objective is you wanted to see at the end of the day the payoff. Angelina Love gets her ass kicked. Whether she hit you with the Botox injection, the old flatliner, what have you, like Angelina Love could convey you and it gets you emotionally invested to see someone kick the shit out of her.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I agree with you on the Angelina Love stuff. And besides, for a time period and for a good while, the Beautiful People was one of the hottest things in the Knockouts division for Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, they were for sure.
And then you also look at, like, for instance, The Rock. Like, I love The Rock, Rudy Poo Candy Ass, Know Your Roll, Shut Your Mouth. Like, him and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H. It makes you laugh, but he also makes you emotionally invested. Because here's the thing. He could be funny, and he can also be serious.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the
That's
last
what
one,
I liked about him.
me too. And the last one I got to mention is John Cena. Okay. So people are probably going to be like, John Cena, great promo. He is, here's the thing. People say what they will about John Cena, but he could turn it on. For instance, the Roman Reigns promo, any promo with Kurt Angle, like John could invest you in. He was great. And besides the fact that you've seen John Cena live, and do you want to tell that story?
Oh, God. Good.
Okay. Let's just say Brittney Savage loved some John Cena back in the day.
Oh, I forgot about two people that I also think are good, but I'll finish when you're done with Cena.
No problem. With John Cena, like when he first came in with Kurt Angle, the ruthless aggression. And for me, like I love the rapping stuff because you're at a time period when you had like 8 Mile was out with Eminem, and then you also have just the overall flux of rap and hip hop that we saw from various artists at that particular time period. And for me, like the hustle, loyalty, respect, and never give up, it's good messages for the kids. And people say what they will about the kids aspect and the TV PG aspect. But for me, a lot of kids are buying that merchandise, and a lot of people wanted to be like John Cena, the work that he's done with Make-A-Wish. So, I mean, people say what they will about John, but he's transcended from wrestling to movies just like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, uh, and you know what it is too? Like for me, I was still that nerdy kid, like 14 years old, Westbury, Long Island, going to get my John Cena "You Can't See Me" CD for those that remember that, and just standing online with my Word Life, This Is Basic Thugonomics ringtone, baby, getting that signed CD from John Cena and the trademark Mark Predka. Yes, I'm talking about the trademark, not with the K, with the C, because we got it like that. So I mean, you had the trademark with him, and here's actually a funny fact. The trademark, John Cena's cousin. Do you know what superstar he actually sang the theme song to for in TNA?
No.
Kurt Angle.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not
So
know that.
Yeah, I was just, you know what it is too, like, because he was actually involved. There was that angle with Kurt Angle and Karen Angle at the time. This is before the actual real life events, Kurt. So we're gonna rewind the tape, Rum, and take it back to like 2007. So Kurt Angle and Karen Angle, in the storyline perspective, we're kind of like doing the angle where they were like separating. She wanted a divorce, not Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon style, but she wanted a divorce. And just the whole thing with Kurt and the Samoa Joe feud. She was the guy I think that was sitting with Kurt Angle at Hard Justice 2007, Karen Angle, excuse me, and he was in the crowd. But yeah, he's the one that sang Kurt Angle's theme song. Mark Predka, trademark, John Cena's cousin. He's bald headed. I'm focused. I'm lit up the whole nine, and it works because him and Kurt Angle are both bald headed. But I digress. So. I mean, it's interesting times, and I mean, John Cena, The Rock, all great choices, and I think a lot of people can concur with that. Because even though you want to say crap about, John Cena, I'm gonna say it right now. I hated Poopy and all like the PG stuff, but after a while, you understood it. But I gotta say, you cannot deny John Cena's work ethic.
For sure, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, so the way he can just get on a mic and speak, to me, that's good.
Yes, and also the fact that he's a good-looking guy. I know it's okay. You can add that.
Oh Lord.
Hey, I had the same thing when I first saw. All right, here's the thing. I'll go to this part because since she doesn't want to talk about her blushing for John Cena, I will talk about myself blushing for Trish Stratus. So it's one of those things like when you're 12 years old, right? Like this is 2004. I'm talking about Kane. I'm talking about Lita. I'm talking about Matt Hardy. I'm talking about, Till Death Do Us Part, SummerSlam 2004. They had the match. Kane wins, choke slam off the top rope. Then we get to the wedding. And yes, people, I'm talking about the wedding where Lita was wearing the black because she's not wearing. She's getting married to Kane, and then Trish Stratus comes out. Woo! Trish Stratus comes out wearing as only as she can wear the white ensemble. She's wearing the lingerie, and Trish Stratus and Lita. Boom! That's what hooked me. You know what I'm saying? From the female perspective, and obviously this is also the same year where Lita and Trish main evented Monday Night Raw in December 2004. That epic matchup, that suicide dive, the moonsault, just the hard work that they put in from years upon years, from 2001 to 2003 to the 2004 time frame that we saw their feud expand, so to speak. So for me, Trish Stratus and Lita, but Trish Stratus, I was ready for some Stratusfaction. I still remember that SummerSlam 2002 commercial. Ice cream, yes, please. Talk a little about Lou Bega. Just slide a little, baby, get down. A little bit of them, a little surrounded by the playground. Boom. Oh man, I'm stumbling my words, but I love it so much. Anyway, I digress. So yes, I mean, you could also admit, like Trish Stratus again, one of the focal points with the women. So
Yeah, no, definitely. She's the reason why I got involved with wrestling.
now, isn't it funny though? Because like before she was even in professional wrestling, and we saw her like peak in like 2001, 2002, and her being one of the integral parts of the division, being the Hall of Famer that she is, Britt. Isn't it funny that before she even got into wrestling, now great body, amazing, her bodybuilding working as a fitness model.
Yeah.
So I mean, like admiring stuff like that, just to get to see like from the modeling aspect and how they honed and applied their craft. And I mean, another one at the time, Fit Finlay, helping a lot of those girls.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, here's the thing. You know what it is, too? Like, I always appreciated this, and here's what I hated. So, as a kid, and I can remember this. Oh, my God. I was probably at Madison Square Garden, Continental Airlines Arena, Nassau Coliseum, because those are like the three hotbeds for me. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about New York. We're talking about New Jersey. You know this. I'm not telling
Of
you
course.
know. I'm talking about Long Island right here, baby.
Of
Northeast.
course.
So Northeast. So you're going into this stuff, and for me, like just watching like the women's matches, like people can say what they will about bra and panties and the whole nine there, but for me, and no, I'm not taking this in a pervy way before anybody says it, but for me, thank you. So from someone with the physical appeal and just the overall attraction, it's wonderful. But it's just like I hated when people would yell out like piss match or something like that because people consider it a piss match. For me, like when it comes to professional wrestling, I'm hooked. I'm invested, whether it be guys or girls. Everybody's telling a story. Everybody putting their bodies on the line. They're entertaining the people because that's what it's about, evoking emotions, entertaining the people. So for me, I just never thought of like that ignorant perspective of like piss match and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. And this is kind of like has kind of molded me into who I am as far as loving women and the overall empowerment, so to speak, if that makes sense, Brett.
No, it makes plenty sense.
So, I mean, yeah.
Popcorn match, all that stuff.
Okay, well, popcorn match, piss match, whatever you want to call it. Like, for me, that's the thing, though. And here's the thing. Like, I'll make a Northeast reference here, too. Like, for me, Ring of Honor, right? So I remember going to Lake Grove, like, Sports Plus. Did you ever go to Sports Plus in Lake Grove?
Of course.
All right, I'm just making sure.
I saw concerts there. Gosh.
Look at you. Okay, so if I remember correctly, I remember correctly. Downstairs was like the gaming area, and upstairs like the auditorium. I got that if I remember that
Yep.
correctly.
The concerts and all that jazz.
Yeah. So
Laser tag.
laser tag. I was
Mhm.
man, that was my shit. That was my
Mhm.
yeah. So
Good time.
good times. Laser tagging it up at Sports Plus. Anyway, good memory, great times, great memories aside, Colcabana. Let's talk about like wrestling from there. Like I remember going to see my first Ring of Honor show and watching Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan win the Ring of Honor title from James Gibson, Jamie Noble in 2005. Like for me, like going to Sports Plus and just seeing that, like that was great. But what I also loved about that, going back to the women's for a second, how this ties in and correlates, like watching Sarah Del Rey and
Yep.
Daisy Ace and dare I say Rain, who now has a school in Florida, Oos
Mm.
Wrestling. By the way, another
No,
talent.
Hawaii.
Oh, what I say?
Hawaii.
What I say?
Florida.
I said Florida. My bad.
Yeah, it's
Hawaii.
okay. She lived there for a
Thank you.
long time, so
All right. My bad. I flubbed. Hawaii.
it's okay.
Anywho, back to Rain. Who's wrestling Florida? What have you? Hawaii. Now, back to Rain.
Mhm.
So I remember her tenure in Ring of Honor doing stuff against like Daisy Hayes and Sarah Right, who I mentioned. So I remember seeing those girls. I remember seeing, I think, oh my goodness, what's her face was around there too. I remember Rain. I remember Daisy Hayes. I remember Sarah Del Rey. But those are
Rain
like
of
the
Fire.
thank you.
You're
Like some
welcome.
of the mainstays around that time period and like the Shimmer. And I loved how they incorporated that because Dave Prazak, who was the guy behind that, was also an announcer from Ring of Honor. You could correct me because this was like 16 years, 16 years ago.
Yeah,
So
no, you're correct.
okay, so I'm trying to like reflect and just remember this at this time, like because like there was a. But the point I'm trying to make here is they gave him time because
Mhm.
watching those girls wrestle, like if you watch Sarah Del Rey and Daisy Hayes, I don't even care how many times that they ran that damn match. Each and every time you would be emotionally invested, you would be hooked because they weren't getting like the 4 minutes that you would see on like a Raw or SmackDown or a pay per view. They let these girls apply and hone their craft. So I mean,
Mhm.
that's really what did it for me. I was hooked with Shimmer.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You have like your Shimmer, you had Shine, and then you had WSU. You had all these women's promotions that allowed that and helped pave the way. And now WWE is giving their girls more time. Hell, girls are even doing the main events. So.
Exactly. And then from the WrestleMania perspective, Evolution having their own pay-per-views, I totally understand that. And I actually
Yeah.
here's what's funny, since I pulled it up on my thing. You actually look, and I'm gonna say this to people because we were talking about wrestling schools. Look at Oos wrestling that they have in Hawaii.
Mhm.
What Rain with Rain. For me, watching her doing her thing as Peyton Banks. Now, for you as someone who has been in there and who is associated and knows what Rain could do inside
Mhm.
and out. For you, how awesome that is that to see her owning her own wrestling school and being a part owner in that school and teaching the next generation.
Oh, I'm super happy for her. Rain has always been somebody who's been very sweet to me since day one. We wrestled, I think it was only like once, but she gave me my first chair shot. So, um, but she's honestly a sweet person. She went through a lot of stuff. She was in a horrible car accident. And for somebody who had gone through that much hell and able to do what she's doing now, I give her a lot of props and I'm very happy for her. And I'm happy that she's running her own school because she has a hell of a brain for the wrestling industry, especially for women. So if anybody is in the Hawaii area or, somebody happens to go to Hawaii, I would definitely recommend checking out her school because you can learn a lot from her.
Now, I'm going to say this about Hawaii because here's what's interested me about that. Because when I had Rain on the Mike with Mike series, like what intrigued me about it is like out of all the places, and personally, dare I say, paradise, Hawaii. Like, how can you get any better than that? You know?
Exactly. And I know that she has like Sumi Sakai. So
Yep.
she goes down there and Sumi is amazing, another sweetheart. And she is such a great worker.
Here's the thing, and a lot of people don't even realize because for those that are like new to like Ring of Honor, and you see Sumi Sakai there, being the Women of Honor champion and seeing her work there, a lot of people don't even realize she's been like wrestling for like 20 plus years now, right? Like she
for
started in
a,
like the 90s.
for a long time. She's been around for a long time. I had the pleasure of having a match with Sumi, and it was so much fun. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. She's great.
By the
That's
way,
somebody I would like to. I mean, she's doing her thing in Ring of Honor, but eventually down the road, I would love to see her somewhere else, like, just so she can kind of expand where she is. But she doesn't need it, but I mean, it would be great.
Oh, of course. And for me, like her matches that she had with Kelly Klein and being involved in that Women of Honor tournament, just being involved with like Madison Square Garden, like the first time Ring of Honor going to Madison Square Garden, huge. Besides, the WWE and New Japan being involved there. Like for me, Sumi Sakai, you can't get better than that, And I mean, so many girls that have that tutelage and just have that knowledge, like you got to absorb it like a sponge.
Yeah, no, she can work. That girl, not even girl, she's
Woman.
I want to say my age, a little older than me. I think she's older than me. She can still go.
Ah, man, here's the thing. Don't even talk about me about age because I'll talk to you about age in a second here. So what?
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like compared
I know
to
what you're saying.
us, compared to like girls who are in their 20s, just starting out, hell, even like 18, you know what I'm saying? Like fresh meat, I guess you can call it. Like, they're so young.
Fresh meat.
Fresh meat, because they're so young still. And then like her and I mean, not me because I don't do it anymore, but like her, she's been around for a while, like a long time. So I mean, for somebody who's been around for a long time, you would think that they wouldn't be able to go as well, but she can do it.
You know what it's like too. First and foremost, just add to reflect because oh my god, Sumi Sakai is 48 years old.
48. Holy Hannah. Okay, no, she looks amazing too. I love you,
I
Sumi.
know.
She is amazing. I love that girl. Woman,
So,
lady.
what?
I love Sumi. She
Me
is
too.
so cute. I did not realize. Oh, bless. Oh man.
Okay, so now
I'm
I'm just
sorry.
gonna
I like ranted because I was like shook.
no.
Damn. I hope I look like that
Chuck.
at 48.
Uh,
I
okay.
can't get off the couch without saying my sciatica. Okay, so like seriously, bless. Like, fuck.
God, God damn, girl,
Sorry.
sciatica. What's wrong with you?
I
Okay.
do. I have really bad sciatica. It's bad. Okay. Moving
Uh,
forward.
God, woman. Anyway, Sumi Sakai. Sumi Sakai at 48. Amazing, just absolutely
Oh,
from. You know what
freaking
it's like to
A.
be. You know what it's like to me. All right, I'll make a comparison for those that have seen her. Meiko Satomura, who was involved in the Mae Young Classic, she is in like her early 40s too, and she's been wrestling since she was like 16 and like early WCW too. Like that woman is a badass.
It's crazy. That's like so good. That's like, all right. Saraya Knight. Love
Yep.
her. She is freaking awesome. She could still go. And I'm over here like, damn, I need to like get lessons from them. I'm like, what are you doing? Because I
It's
need to do it because I feel like I'm 90.
well, all right. Now, okay, going back to you're making still. I'm still laughing at the Sumi comment. So it's one of those things like you mentioned, Saraya Knight, like coming from the wrestling family, Paige's mother, the Knight
Mm-hmm.
family in the United Kingdom. That woman, again, like you mentioned, in her 40s, like I know an older woman, but still,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't even tell because she's such a badass and kills it. Like here's the thing,
Yep.
and I'll actually tie this into your career, man, because I saw a match with her and Sue Young, who you've had the pleasure of working
Mm-hmm.
with. So I watched the match of her and Sue Young on Rise of the Knockouts for Twitch special that Impact was doing. They had like a Falls Count Anywhere match. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it was great. Like a hell of a brawl. Sue Young kind of like hung
Yep.
her, like the whole noose kind of deal. Like it was amazing.
Yeah, they did amazing work at Shine together. Like amazing. So good.
And that's the thing too. Now, since you actually just kind of segued again before we get into our hilarity and our
Sorry. I do that
but
a lot.
no, don't even worry, girl. I think people can tell. I think people can tell because we kind of have a little bit of short attention of
Yep.
spans. I think we
That
also.
ADD.
I do too. So don't even worry about it. Concerta. People will tell you. I always tell people about that. I was on Concerta in ninth grade for my ADD. So don't even worry about it. I'm
Yeah.
right there with you.
Mine
So,
was never confirmed by a doctor, and I'm like, I don't need a doctor to tell me I have ADD because I just know.
man,
It's fine.
I'm gonna put this right now. You got that NDN vibes about you. No doctors needed. You hear about no gimmicks needed in the whole nine. No doctors needed. I see you, Brittany Savage.
Exactly.
You're your own doctor. That's what that is.
Right, exactly. It's probably why I have a lot of problems going on.
Dare I say which doctor? We'll take it back to Alvin and the Chipmunks. Hello,
Alvin.
Alvin. Anyway, back to professional wrestling for a minute. It's called Max Wrestling in the hot seat. Keyword wrestling. Ugh, I'm
Sorry.
kidding. That's okay. You're fine.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Taking it to White Chicks 2004. I see what you're doing here.
Excuse me.
Hey.
Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. So you look at that, And for me, like, there's so many great women's promotions out there. Like I mentioned Shimmer and Shine, and we talked about that, and we talked about Rise as well. A lot of crap of talents like going through these women's promotions that are absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? So many great promotions out there, not just for women, but for professional wrestlers in general. We get a nice variety, but for the women's standpoint, I got to say, a lot of great companies that are introducing the next generation.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first started, there were a few, but now there, like you said before, there's even more, and it's awesome. And I mean, it's great to be on a show with men and whatnot, but let's say if you were to wrestle a man, you're not going to wrestle a woman the same way. So it's always good to weigh your options and to have a different variety of people to work with.
Oh, of
Smaller
course.
women, like larger women, not like chunky women. I mean, like tall women, like So it's good to like mix it up a little with who you get in the ring with, because you can wrestle like, let's say, all right, myself and Roxy Cotton, for example, like we used to wrestle each other all the time, and I love Roxy Cotton, but we used to wrestle each other all the time, and we're like, we need other people to wrestle too, because that's how you familiarize yourself with other people. You don't want to get too comfortable with one person.
Of course. And I mean, by the way, great matches with Roxy Cotton, but after a while, it's kind of like you're welcome. You got to adapt. You got to work with other
Exactly.
people. You got to bring more people in it. That's why I said, and I'll mention
Hmm.
this name, Nikki Adams. Like, here's the thing
Hmm.
about Nikki Adams, and we're going to speak to Nikki really, really soon. So
Yes.
I gotta say this about you. You and Miss Nikki Six, Nikki Adams, Black Rose Nikki Adams, whatever name she was defined under. Like for me, like I liked her because I liked the badassery when she was in the Order of the Black for NYWC, former tag team champion with Dickie Rods. So many great matches that she's had in NYWC and all around the New York Northeast. Like you two, I always enjoyed your chemistry. I also enjoyed what you guys did in the ring because she can be the protagonist, antagonist, the heel, babyface. I always thought you two worked well together, and you both like were very well as far as your character was.
Thank you. Yes, we did. We meshed very well together. Could also be because when I went to NYWC, I think it's actually when I went back to NYWC, because I was just wrestling so much back then, and then I finally had extra time to get back in and train. And then she was training already, so I was like, I want to get in the ring with her because I'm a female and there's not many females here. I think there was one other girl training, but she was super new as well as Nikki at the time. So I'm like, let me in the ring with her so that way, she can get used to working a female, because she's not going to always work a male. And I want to get her more laxed and comfortable because, like I said, when I first started wrestling, it was just me. I was the only female and it was all male. So I can understand how intimidating that could be. So I think her and I working together from a training aspect, it kind of helped when we ended up having matches together.
Of course, and for me, like whether you two were on opposite sides or whether you two were, together, I think for you and her, I gotta say this about Nikki Adams. Like for you, I always talk about I always loved your career from NYWC, from Shine, from your match on SmackDown with Beth, from you and Alicia, you and AJ. But for me, I look at her like I've seen her work in NYWC. I've seen her work for Warriors of Wrestling. She got a match on Women of Honor, which I was so happy to see because she was
Yeah.
a lot of the work. Like another one who's just for people. I'm going to say this, and I think you can attest to this. If you've not checked out the Black Rose Nikki Adams, type in it on your YouTube, watch some matches against Brittney Savage and so many people because there's a lot of great work there.
Yeah, she came a long way, so I'm very proud of her, and I understand that she retired, or I don't know if she actually was able to have her final match yet because of everything going on, but I'm super proud of her. She's come a very long way. So
That's the thing, like the evolution. Like besides the fact that I always say about those two ladies, you look good. Emphasis on the good, Booker T style. Besides that, you're welcome. Besides, besides that part, with you and Nikki Adams, like Nikki Adams. Here's the thing: I saw one of her matches, and people can look this one up. It was her and the current reigning AEW Women's Champion Nyla Rose in like a cage match for Warriors of Wrestling. Who's another one who's an imposing force, that being the Native Beast Nyla Rose. But like she could go in there anybody. She was in there Victoria. Like for me, I think if this is going to be it for her, I mean, what a way to go out.
yeah, exactly. She had a very good run, a very good career with wrestling. So I mean, if she wants to take a break, then good for her. She's done a lot. It's not like she's going to leave on a sad note. She's going out on a high note.
That she is. And like I said, here's the thing about you two. And I'm going to say this. Now, for you, I don't think we've ever actually touched upon this question. But for me, as someone who's watched your wrestling from 2009 and we'll talk about some promo work as well here because I cannot be amiss if we don't talk about the Beer Belly Bandits because y'all my so before we get into that portion here, Brittney, do you have any regrets? Like because like I said, man, from professional wrestling, you got to do a lot of work. For you, any regrets or just I would say you had a great career, but for you, is there anything that you feel like regrets wise, or you absolutely no regrets, Madonna style human nature to make the pop culture?
No, I have no regrets at all. I think a lot of things happened for me super quickly, like WWE. Granted, I never was in a signed contract with them, but I had, my match on WWE SmackDown against Beth Phoenix. And then not long after that, I ended up being a part of a movie for Chiller TV, which was cool. I got to play a pregnant zombie. That was very interesting. Um, so that was very fun. And then, shortly after that, I ended up signing a contract with Lucha Libre USA. Um, Unfortunately, I had to part my ways because my ex-fiance at the time did not really want me traveling without him. So, that's the only regret I had as far as that goes, but not really so much a regret because I had a lot of other doors open with stuff. So, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied.
I got to say this just because, and I think a lot of people don't realize whether it's all right. Now, here's the thing about you because I've seen like NYWC. I got to say this about you, Brittney Savage. You have words. I'm going to say this about another guy. Shout out to the Greek guy, Papadonna. I'm going to say this right now. Rest in peace to the great Crusher Dugan because you have minds there. And I also include you in that because you have people like yourself, many seminars, many classes. You have the tutelage and you have the knowledge to pass on to the next generation. So for that front, I got to say you're an asset because not just in the ring, but behind the scenes, outside the ring, you got a lot to give.
Thank you. I think if I was to do anything with wrestling, it would not be to get myself inside of a ring anymore. It would definitely be to have a part in booking, like just storylines. That's something I've always had an interest in, especially because I feel like I can help people tell a story with the way that they can move in the ring. I'm a better storyteller than I am a worker. So that is something that I would definitely be interested in doing if it ever happens. But if not, it's fine. I have my daughter. I have a lot of things going for me right now that I'm trying for. So, I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm still satisfied.
Beautifully said. And I got to say this, people, if you heard like a little bada boom with that there, here's the thing. Because I'm
You're
so
wrestling your microphone or something?
no microphone this time. Oh my God. So from the last two pop culture history episodes ago, SoundCloud.com. That's MC Larkin 92. You check it out there. I was so hyped. We were talking about professional wrestling, and then I absolutely knocked my speaker. That, my friends, was here's the thing. My mom's very OCD in a way, and I love my mother to death, and I'm kind of like this too because you have like a nice cold beverage, and you don't want to get it all messy all over your desk. You got a nice little coaster on there. You know what I'm saying, Britt? The coasters. I'm not talking about the group. I'm talking about
The
coasters. Right?
coaster.
The coaster,
Coasters.
the coasters. So put a little nice coaster under there, man, and hey. So anyway, besides that coaster rant there, I
What are you
got
drinking though, Michael? Water? Water.
What? Yes, you know me. I got me my water and I got me a Diet Sun Kiss right next to that. And quite I just say, I enjoy me some pop. About to drink me some pop right now as we are speaking. Mm-hmm.
Intrigue.
Yeah.
I'm having a lovely Mike's Hard lemonade. Oh wait, no, sorry, I stand corrected. Mike's Hard pineapple strawberry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice drinks.
Ooh,
Okay.
ooh. Sorry. Weird bug. Sorry.
Okay.
It's
Now,
that time where the bugs are out,
yeah, man.
They're back.
If you listen back to the old shows, man, bugs in cars. Man, the last one we had that badass car, man. Here's the thing. Andre Corby, I love you because he's going to put this on wrestlingwithwrestling.com and worldwide. So Andre's going to put this on the website. And Andre loved this because he listens back and he's like, yo, you guys have such great chemistry. I'm like, yes, even when cars go by and all this, we still have fun banter, which is hilarious
We
because are you
play
even
off it.
yeah, but are you even outside right now? Like, well, obviously you are bugs, but what the hell happened this time with your buggage?
So it was just like a extremely large moth that was like on steroids or something. It
What?
must have heard all the wrestling talk and it injected itself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I gotta make a joke. No, it was like really, it was a super large moth, and I don't know. So I have the light on, right? And I can see shadows on the grass, and I thought a bat was coming at me just now. And with the coronavirus, I get nervous even more so when I see a bat. So
I'm sorry, just the coronavirus. Brodus Clay's name in TNA was
Coronavirus.
the coronavirus. Brodus Clay's name in TNA was Tyrus. Oh, anyway.
Oh,
Hey, the
look at
rhymage.
that. See, you were a fan of John Cena. Look at you.
Mm.
And 8 Mile.
Word life. This is basic economics.
You getting it, Rabbit.
Ward, I think you were a little too hard on the Beaver. Wally and Miss Cleaver. Boom. There you go. 8 Mile Road. Have that soundtrack still to this day. One of my favorites.
I love that movie. I only liked the movie. Sorry, we're so off topic, but I only liked that film because of his rapping. I didn't like everything else in that movie, just the rapping part.
Hold on. So you didn't like Cheddar Bob shooting himself in the dick?
Oh, poor Cheddar Bob.
Poor Cheddar Bob.
And all I could think of his facial expression when Eminem says it.
Yep.
Great part. That's
it is
facial expressions. That's the thing too. Facial expressions with wrestling. Those, you don't even need to work that hard as long as your face tells a story.
I like how you came back with that wrestling because yes, exactly.
See?
Like Shawn
Segue.
Michaels. Shawn Michaels, one of the best in selling. A lot of people say that with Shawn Michaels, like you could convey like when he obviously when he hurt his back at WrestleMania 14 in pain because he broke his back, but watch the way Shawn Michaels sells.
Yep. No, I agree. He's a great seller. And from female perspective, with facial expressions, Stephanie McMahon.
Now you see, okay. Now when here's the thing that I have always wanted to say: you have not made it in the WWE if you've not gotten either yelled at by Stephanie McMahon on camera or the slap, the $1 billion slap. Because he hits hard. Like I'll be honest with you, you want to see Stephanie. Well, obviously she's a McMahon, but you want to see Stephanie get her butt kicked, and you want to see the payoff of her getting humiliated. So right on par with that.
Of course, she has to get the slap in. That's what she does. And she always makes it look so good.
Now, going back to just for a second here, because we were talking about promos earlier, so I wanted to just touch base on this since we've been segueing a lot and talking about bugs. I'm still waiting for that damn car to pass by. So we're talking a lot. And we're shooting the breeze as we do. Man, I got to say this, Beer Belly Bandits, because a lot of people don't realize. So you can take that accent that you had, what in tarnation that you did so nicely. Thank you kindly. There was a time you had an accent for a little bit, and it's still some funny work. I will be damned that Randy Summers said that you ain't no Britney Spears, Miss Britney Savage. So some of the best promo work was from Take It Deep, Mr. Bo Pritchard, Mr. Kaysen, Mr. Spider, Brittney Savage. People, go back and watch not just matches because, again, hilarity, entertainment, I'm invested. Watch the promos of the Beer Belly Bandits. It's amazing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, they're great.
Which one would you say was one that really was a favorite of yours? Like for me, each and every one was different. Like watching Kaysen pretty much sing "Livin' La Vida Loca" was hilarious because I got to say this, and I love JT. So Mr. Kaysen,
his little movements. Sorry.
Oh my God, that's okay. Yeah, go back and watch the videos. Go back and watch the videos. It's on Bo Pritchard's YouTube channel. So watching JT move to Live in La Vida Loca, and you find a lot of great things about people. And this is why I love JT, because for a lot of people that don't know, JT and I went to the same high school. Both graduates of East Islip High School. So him and I get this because we were talking about the Around the Way. That's the one for me, LL Cool J style. I gotta say this, Mr. Kaysen understands the pop life like we do because Mr. JT Kaysen loves him some Jordan Knight, baby. You know I could give it to you. Classic. So he knows about our pop lifestyle there, Miss Brittney Savage, enjoying the good old pop music.
Yes.
And Bo Pritchard, don't even mention LFO to you. He will go on a full-fledged rant as we've discussed, because Bo does not understand the lyrical genius that is Summer Girls of LFO. Isn't that right?
Yes, definitely.
Just go back to listening.
Not a fan of that.
Fan of it. He hates it. But I digress about our friends there and our awesome human beings, people. Like, I'll be honest with you, being around and interviewing a lot of people from NYWC, you get to meet a lot of great people, and those two are just awesome human beings.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally agree.
And the thing is, you and Bo played so well off each other because of, you singing Spice Girls Wannabe, you talking about Twilight and the whole night. You the best one for me that I loved was the karaoke where he's trying to play Highway to Hell, and then here you are, because me knowing you, and this is why this made me laugh, playing Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle, for God's sake, and just the interaction that you two had, and obviously Don't Start Believing by Journey, but that was entertaining.
Yeah, that was probably I don't know, they were all fun for me. That one was definitely really fun. The Halloween one,
True. Oh, yes.
that one was fun too. My friend Jack.
Yes, and he got to do some stuff with the Benson voice too. Oh my god! See, people, each and every one of those promos were just so different. They were unique. They were fun, and I loved it. And here's the thing about Bo, because he could play a dark character, he could play a comedy character. He's just so talented like that. And now what JT Kaysen is doing as the heel persona that he has in NYWC, I think both have really gelled and really have flourished with what they're doing.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally agree.
That's the thing, man. And I think that also kind of encompasses the three of you, because whether you're babyface, the white meat babyface, as we were talking about, and the the heel. I wouldn't say a chicken shit heel, but kind of like the mean girl heel, like, I'm better than you, just the whole nine there. And I think your overall confidence, it's not cockiness persona. I think it really helped from your heel perspective and your babyface perspective to hook the people in.
Thank you.
So yeah, but yeah, people go check out some Beer Belly Bandits because it's funny. And it's one of those things, Savage, where we're in this promo league now, and you've seen some of the promos. So we've had two so far. I have to send you the third one with Corey and Mike Jolly, which was very good this week. People go check it out. Corey does a great interpretation of the light, and Mike Jolly's just sadistic and dark, and he goes by the heavy metal Jesus. And Mike Jolly is the the oddity. It's quite the promo. So go back and check it out on the Max Wrestling YouTube, and I'll send this to you after, Savage, to
Yeah,
scout
perfect.
competition. But those two aside, because here's the thing, we have Travis the Walker Anderson. I like to tease Travis a lot because he's bowed up. Do you know what bowed up is, Brittney Savage?
I don't.
He's very fired up. He's very, he's very out there. You know what I'm saying? He's very intense, and that's what I like about his stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's very energetic. He's very good, and he can invest you with his mask or what have you. Good dude. We got Coriel Coulter up in here, who is a rapper. For those people that know, he does a lot of great rap stuff. This cipher, very knowledgeable about that front. He could drop amazing beats. Super talented from the music side of things. We got Moses Marquez. Now his gimmick, like we see in his character, we got El Jefe. It's kind of like, think of Razor Ramon / Tony Montana. So that's like I'm gonna put it like this. You know the old Miami Vice episodes where a lot of the main antagonists were Colombian drug lords?
Yes.
Think of it like that. So we
Oh.
also we got Mike Jolly, who is the heavy metal Jesus, the oddity, the host of the Washington Wrestle Talk podcast. Very sinister, got that dark approach to it. I think you could see the theme here as we're going on through. We got Ted P. De Niro, who is an amazing rapper, an amazing talent, and really, has come into his way with promos, and he's another one that has that edge about him, which I dig. We got the Phoenix, who is firstly, he's relatively new, like Mike Jolly and a lot of people in here. The Phoenix, not only is he very knowledgeable as far as wrestling goes, and not only can he, just a very smart individual and someone who I consider a very good friend. First time on visual and video promos, he's the one that took on Travis last week. The dude did it. He's the demon of the Welsh Valleys. You can see it's that dark, approach to him. And then we have the man on top, the RWT Kingpin, Amir Blackbane Costello, another one. Rapper, another one who's very intelligent. He's got the mind. He can convey a lot of emotions. And then we have you, Brittney Savage, who is the first one who's actually been in the industry and who's actually has that mindset. And as someone, like I said, man, I know I'm going on and I'm rambling here, but we have a lot of talented people in here. So I think you can see and convey that with the overall themes and the overall people that we have in this league.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be exciting.
Now, for you, I got to say this because the Demoness is the current champion. The Demoness, I come to caress, I'm going to take your soul and I'll put you in a hole. She's the Demoness. So we got the Demoness. Very, dark character. Obviously, look at the name, the Demoness. She has different ways of torturing you, different torture chambers, if you will. Very horror movie-esque, and I know you being into a lot of horror movies. So for us in Max Wrestling, we've seen a lot of great matchups from the knowledge standpoint and the promo standpoint. We have a very different array and a variety for people for the Max Wrestling podcast. For you, I would like to see, because we've never gotten a female bout for the promo championship. We've never seen two great females in yourself and the Demoness, Nicola McDonald. We've never had a female promo bout. So that is something I think a lot of us want to see. We want to see you in the Demoness. Can you take it to that dark place, Brittney Savage?
Oh, I will do my best.
I'll accept
I think
it.
so, though.
All right, I'll accept the putting in the effort because I'll be honest with you. All right, let me tell you something, man. It's one of those things with you just because, and we've joked about it because and I've always put over my mother because I love her very much, made me who I am today. My mother is a short woman, but she's got the fire, and I'm going to say this just because I'm going to put it nicely. You're short. So when it comes to short women, you I wouldn't want to go against you, man, because like I say, you got a lot of fire, passion, intensity. So,
Thank you.
I mean, am I right on that? I mean, you don't mess with short women.
No,
See?
no, you definitely don't.
Right. Had to put it out there because somebody's going to say it. You're fiery. Dare I say you're wiry? You're ready to scrap. Using it the way I got ready to scrap. Am I right on that, Brittney Savage?
Yep, you're
Ready
totally
to
right.
ready to scrap.
Yep.
So on the scrap side of things, don't catch her riding dirty. I tell you. Besides that aspect of your badassery, if you will, Dusty Rhodes, if you will. God rest his soul. Great, good other great promo. We can't talk about promos if we're not talking about Dusty Rhodes. One of the great promos, Hard Times.
Yep.
But focusing on yourself here in this in the hot seat, Miss Brittney Savage. Tomorrow, as we are recording this, tomorrow is your birthday, so I will say first and foremost, early happy birthday.
Thank you.
Now I gotta ask, man, because we were talking about this off air, but I gotta say the Snooki slippers are in full effect. Are they in full effect right now again?
They are.
They are full in effect with the Snooki slippers, man. Tomorrow's your birthday. Hope you have a great one. And I got to say this to you. You're welcome. Your little cutie beauty of a daughter, little Brookie, just had a birthday not too long ago. I got to say this about you. People, besides the fact that you're an awesome mother, but you have the cutest daughter, and you are going to have a special day like I know she had a special day. So what can we expect for the birthday of Brittney Savage? What do we got going on? Tell people what's going on.
Thanks. I'm just going to spend some time with my daughter and my mom for the most part. And then later on at night, I'm going to have a house party with two of my best girlfriends. And we thought it would be funny to dress up as Jersey Shore characters. So since I have my Snooki slippers and I have a black dress, I'm going to rock a poof. Not a spray tan because my tanner did not come in. So I'm going to be a pale version of Snooki. So it's gonna be a fun time.
Okay. Man, what I'm just gonna say this right now. Why didn't they pick you for the audition? Why didn't you just audition? Like for real. I don't even care if you were blonde. Why? Just because your tan was on fleek. Like you would have been great. Like there's so many people I could have done with out on the Jersey Shore. Like I would have loved to see a Brittney Savage on Jersey Shore just rocking it. I could see you fist pumping, even though you can't dance worth a damn, as we've noted. And I'm not.
I mean, can people who pump their fists really dance? I don't know. I think it's just a movement. I mean,
Okay.
I can do that.
Well, we got to talk about this since you segued to that. Again, another beautiful segue. All right. So, fist pumping, if you actually think of it, I always used to joke and say it's kind of like reverse masturbation, but you're just doing it up in the air, if that makes sense. Look, hey, what? I mean, come on. Like, I mean, people, come on. You know, if you think of just, I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? That putting that image in people's heads, holy shit. But it's ridiculous, and it's not really moves. Like me, like I like to do a little something, little pop lock and drop it, a little slide to the side, a little spin, almost like Michael Jackson style. Like Michael Jackson can dance. That is dancing.
Yeah.
But what the fuck? Because when I first saw it, I'm like, this is not dancing. This is just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Not even bullshit. It was bullshit. Because all you do is pumping your fist and grinding on shit, and it's like, what? And it's just like, my God, this is like
Takes
it's
me
like
back to my days of junior high.
well, it's like SpongeBob, make out reef. Good times, good times. Okay, now on a side note, when it came to junior high, did you guys have like with dances and prom stuff? Did you guys have like that spread, like where they had like spread? You have to be at this length distance when you're dancing and stuff. Was that the thing?
No.
No. What am I
I
thinking
wish it was a thing back in the day. No, there were people bumping and grinding. Ew.
Bumping and grinding. Ew. So
obviously I was not the one that was doing that. I was watching. I'm like, what are you doing?
hey man, I mean, when somebody puts on some Boys to Men, I'll make love to you. I mean, it gets popping. Dare I say, it gets popping, Brittney Savage. Put on some Casey and JoJo all my life indeed.
Oh God.
Somebody put on some. Okay, this is going to be a rare reference, but somebody will get this. Put on some AZ Yet. Last night I was inside of you. I bet you were. After that
Oh,
dance,
my Lanta.
you're welcome. So, anyway,
You're welcome.
I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I didn't even go to either one of my proms or anything like that. Because it's not just because I didn't have a date before anybody says that. I didn't want to.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I went to my
Exactly.
junior prom. I went to my junior prom and I went to my prom. My junior prom, I went with nobody besides my girlfriends who had dates.
Right.
I think my junior prom, actually, my old friend ended up taking my ex-boyfriend. It was
Whoa.
very weird, right?
Whoa.
Weird. They were friends, but it was weird. Um, but he
Hold
ended
on.
up
Wait,
like
wait.
going away.
Hold on. Hold on. Just stop right now before you. Thank you very much, Spice Girl style. Before you even move on to that story, how does that happen? Like, it was very weird. She took the boyfriend.
Honestly, wait, no, that was my prom
Oh,
that happened. Sorry. Yeah, my prom. She took my ex-boyfriend.
okay. It
Hmm.
was very
But even
weird.
still,
What?
it was weird, especially the fact that we all got a party bus together. So
Oh man, the
it was
awkwardness.
no, I was fine. Like everybody on there on the bus, they all had dates. I was the only one solo doloing at the time. And I was content because my friends, their people took off on and did their own thing. And I was just like, yep, that's why we don't bring dates. Good time. And then I fell asleep on a party bus, and the party
What?
bus came to a halt, and I went flying off the seat into the stripper pole. It was good memory, good time. Um, but the after party, we went to this bar in the city, and it was so bad. But like when I say bar, there were no drinks. Obviously, they took us like the downstairs. This sounds so sketchy. We went to the downstairs area where somebody probably was shot up at one point in time, prior to that. But it was so bad. We're like, time to go home. It was bad, horrible after party.
I can't follow that. That was that's just wow. That is a
Yeah,
hell
there was
of
a
a
lot
time.
going on. Hmm.
Oh man, I remember. Here's the thing where I legit thought shit was about to pop off. So I went to WWE in 2015 in Newark, and which is such a lovely area of New Jersey. It's the
Hmm.
best.
Hmm.
Newark, New Jersey.
Yep, it's so
So
good.
it's so good. So Newark, New Jersey, people. Newark, New Jersey. I'm going to take the 2 trains to go to the SmackDown show at the Prudential Center. Oh man, being on those trains, man, where people are playing dice in the background and you thought shit was sketchy there. Oh my god, I legit thought I was gonna get shot or die because people were fighting. I just want to go see SmackDown. Goddamn it, I want to see John Cena versus Kevin Owens for the United States title. I just want to see Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt wrestle. I'm just trying to live peacefully. I don't need no drama in my life. No more drama in my life. Mary J. Blige style. I'm just trying to live. I'm not gonna cry because I'm not Mary J. Blige style. I'm not gonna shed a tear but I just want to live. That's all I'm saying. Uh, but yeah, our crazy times aside.
For
um,
real.
Brittney Savage, like I said, it's always fun. It's always a pleasure. We have more pop culture shows coming, people. We mentioned the name on here, Nikki Adams coming on to talk some pop culture and shoot the breeze with Brittney on some of her wrestling days and just her wrestling each other and the overall tandem and just talk about overall professional wrestling work and pop culture, which is going to be fun. We got our girl Ella J, who will be on another edition of In the Hot Seat very soon of a Wrestling Gal podcast. Shout out to Ella J. So you and I are
Yes.
putting in the work, man. I mean, you got to put in the work these times. It's quarantine. You got to entertain the people.
Hmm.
And I hope you guys have been entertained with our buck wild selves here on Max Wrestling in the Hot Seat. We threw you a little pop culture, we threw you a little professional wrestling, and we threw you a little bit of banter that we usually do on these shows. And we're sidetracked because we both have ADD and both of our
Yes.
noggins have been rocked. Fair to say? Fair
Facts.
assessment? Noggins rocking?
Facts.
Pop locking dropping?
Yep.
Yep. Oh, so, but besides that, I just want to say, and I truly mean this, first and foremost, like we mentioned, early happy birthday. I hope you have a great
Thank you.
birthday. You're welcome. But, folks, out of the past 3 years, I've gotten to know an amazing human being that is this woman. Besides the fact that we get along because we like a lot of pop culture stuff, pop music, Summer Jam '02, we were there, hands in the air like we don't care. Oh, yeah. But it's one of those things where you get to meet a lot of great people and be blessed with amazing friendships. And for that, I got to say thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with me.
Man, you're fine. And I said, I'll say this, I do infinity. I'll put up with this woman, hell to the yeah. So anyway, you're welcome. I digress. Brittney Savage, Facebook, Twitter, not Facebook, I'm sorry, Twitter, Instagram. Here's the
It's
thing.
okay.
Well, hold on. No, we got to talk about this. I'm so trained because people have so many different forms of social media. Some people use Facebook. Some people have preference with Twitter and Instagram. And it kind of just flows out like that way. So I'm kind of like trained to go with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram because here's the thing. I've seen The Social Network, not to get sidetracked before we actually do the plugs, but I'm going to go here. Now, have you've seen The Social Network with Jesse Eisenberg and Justin Timberlake and how Facebook came into fruition?
No.
Okay. All right. So you look at The Social Network kind of like an idea like that the Winklevosses had, and Mark Zuckerberg said he didn't steal it. He just made a good idea better. And there's a whole lot of drama for your mama in The Social Network. And Justin Timberlake plays the dude from Napster. And it's a whole lot of, they call me the
Napster. Oh, boy.
Remember Napster, man?
Yep.
Oh, Lars Ulrich did not like Napster. Metallica, Hell to the No, did not like that. So, but no, I mean, it's one of those things where like social media, because I remember Facebook, like I mentioned this, I didn't start getting on Facebook until like 2010 when a friend asked me, "Are you going to be on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?" I'll friend request you. No, I don't. He's like, "You should be on Facebook." I'm like, "All right." Then it took off from there. But it's one of those things where like Facebook is like trained in my thing because what was it? Was it Facebook, Twitter, then Instagram? Was that like the order that every social media came into like fruition?
It was MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
First and foremost,
Snapchat.
stop it. Stop it with your MySpace. Because here's the thing. I hated that too. Because
You
MySpace,
asked.
whatever. Because my mind is set on Facebook. I didn't even have a MySpace. I hated MySpace. Why? I'm guessing you were on MySpace too.
Of course. That's like when I first started wrestling, that's all we had was MySpace.
All right, you got a point on that, man. All right.
You got to pick your top people. It was the best. And then people would get pissed if you remove them as their top.
Okay, first and foremost, I retract my sentiments about that because that is true. That's very right. MySpace was the thing. Okay.
Yeah. That's
First,
how you plugged yourself back then.
okay, wait a minute. Now I'm just trying to remember MySpace. Like you had your favorites, and people would get pissed if you were not in your favorites. That's how that
Yeah,
was.
so you had like a top 10 or even like a top 20, which was just crazy. But you had to have a top 20 because people would be like, why am I removed? So it's like, all right, now I got to find some random bitch to put in here for my top 20 now because you were upset about it. But yeah, there was like top, and then I narrowed it down to like a top 5 because I was like, I don't care.
What a bunch of fucking whiners.
Right?
Okay.
You don't have to be top there. You're top in my heart. That's all that matters. God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna. All right. Here's the thing. Like, all right, I hate you for this, but so here we go. So it's one of those things where I hated MySpace so much. I didn't want to be on it. I don't even want to be on social medias, but we got to plug ourselves. We got to promote ourselves, and I understand it, the pros and cons. But for me, with social media, I think you can agree. Like you and I, we like the old-fashioned way, having each other's numbers, texting, maybe a
Yep.
little something on the phone. Like the old school way, like you don't. Social media is not the be all and end all of things. It's just nice to just talk to somebody on the phone, text, and just shoot the breeze. You know what I'm saying? Seeing somebody in person, dare I say?
Yeah, exactly. But now when you see each other in person, everybody's on their phone. So
See, I'm getting angry.
terrible,
No,
terrible
here's the thing.
time.
Here, terrible. Charles Barkley style. Terrible.
Terrible.
So, it's one of those things where it's like I hate it because like when I'm eating dinner, I always take my phone away because I'm eating dinner. I want to engage in a conversation over dinner. You know what I'm saying? I don't need my phone at the dinner table, and I fucking hate that. But it's one of those things where we're so cultured and we're so designed to just be on our phones. In a way, it kind of makes me fucking sick, if that makes sense.
No, it's true. I mean, we all can't wait for coronavirus to be over, but when we're all able to see each other, we're still going to go back to our normal selves with being on the phone and not socializing with what's in front of us. So
That's true. And what do we have now? That Zoom stuff? Zoom? Here's the thing with Zoom.
Zoom house party
House
tomorrow. I'm doing my house party.
God. See, I was a kid when I remember Zoom. There was that show on like 13, like PBS. Remember Zoom? Zuma, 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 Zoom. I don't know. Yeah, no. On that
No,
stuff.
actually, no.
Hey, man. There was a show called Zoom back on like Channel 13 where they had like Arthur and all that crap.
I
Back in
used to watch Arthur, but I think I was too old for Zoom.
Okay, first and foremost, I don't want to hear All right, here's the problem with you. All right, before we even get to social medias, the plugs were at the end here, but you see, you're starting, and I'm getting worked up because of this. So you you mean to tell me that you were too old for Zoom, but your ass goes to see Aaron Carter at 21?
Listen,
Listen, what?
I grew up knowing Aaron Carter because
Me
of Nick
too.
Carter from the Backstreet Boys. So yeah,
Oh my god. Okay.
right? Kind of makes sense. I mean, I didn't like sit there and be like, let me check out what's on PBS Kids now at 21. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, man. Sometimes, well, first and foremost, you could have cousins. I'll be honest with you. I was around that age where I had cousins, and I watched old episodes of Blue's Clues with my cousin because you have family members that are youngins.
I mean, I watched old school episodes of Blue's Clues with my daughter when she was little, but
That's badass. That was my
it
shit.
it was a good show. We were looking for Blue's Clues. I mean,
I can't even do. What's the new one now? Blue's Clues and You. I can't do it. I can't do it.
yeah, I
No,
tried. It's weird. It's very weird.
it is. You know what it is? It's a technology. It's that goddamn technology because we're switching through like the phones and stuff and emails, and I get it, but it's just like, find a paw print. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to like, put it out there. Oh, we got the handy dandy notebook, but look at this. We got the notebook, and now it's a phone. It's an email. Look at me. No, it pisses me the fuck off. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
that's what our society has come to. So anyway, I
Yep.
digress from my ranting self. Let's put in the Instagram, Brittney Savage. Let them know where they can find you.
The Twitter is at the Brittney Sav, and the Instagram is at the Brittney Savage. And every now and then, when I reach a certain amount of followers, I give a follow back. So definitely follow me because I just recreated this Instagram, and I only have like 145, and it's not enough. But my personal one keeps getting all the friend requests. So just make sure you're requesting my public one, which is at the Brittney Savage, please and thank you.
It's a great page, the Brittney Savage on Instagram. We get to see a lot of old school photos and stuff with
Mm-hmm.
the boy diva Rick Cataldo, which deserves a shout out. WSU,
Mm-hmm.
amazing talent, flamboyance.
Matter of Pride.
Yes, entertainment does a lot of great work. Matter of Pride, where I'm going to say this right now, and a lot of people realize this, but not just the boy diva Rick Cataldo, the punk rock queen Jamie Senegal. We
Yes.
also had Sonny Kiss, who we now see on AEW. A lot of people came
Mm-hmm.
from that place fight.
Yep. Yep. Eddie McQueen was
Eddie
on there.
McQueen, yes.
Yeah.
Matter of Pride, check it out on YouTube. They have the first, was it the first volume 1 and 2, and there's more than that, like full shows on there.
Yeah. Maria Manic was on there as well. You know, see her on Ring of Honor.
First and foremost, how amazing was that? Not to talk about what's going on now, but for Maria Manic, starting out as the blonde in CZW, she was with Maxwell Jacob Friedman, one MJF who is now on AEW. There's a lot of plugs here, but we're going to digress. We're talking about a lot of fun this year. Maria Manic, being the blonde that she was on CZW, just to see this absolute beast that she is on Ring of Honor with the man eater, the thing on her stomach there, she looks amazing.
Yep. Yeah, she really does.
Amazing talent. Support and I'm going to say this, not just support professional wrestling, support your local indies. New York Wrestling Connection, Creative Pro, Jersey All Pro, WSU. I'm talking about Wrestle Pro. I'm talking about Northeast Wrestling. I'm talking about all over the place. Support your local indies.
Mm-hmm.
Brittney Savage knows. She knows. She's
Mm-hmm. I know.
You recognize. You know what it's all about. So
I do.
I do. Ooh,
Ooh. I know, that's legit what I was thinking with your orange soda over there.
I'm drinking it right now as I took a sip on that some bitch, man. So, so Brittney Savage, do you have any final words for the people of Max Wrestling Promo League? And do you have any final words for your fans? Let's start off with the Promo League first on that, because you got some hell of competition coming up your way, man.
Ooh. I'm looking forward for my first challenge. I can't wait to see who challenges me first. And I definitely look forward to working with each and every single one of them.
Do you have any final words for your
Oh,
supporters?
sorry. Yes. Sorry. Can't forget. Still, just be safe. Stay healthy. Stay inside as often as possible. I know it's really annoying, especially because New York is probably going to be on a pause till like July, August. But don't take it out on anybody who is working in a grocery store. It's not their fault. They're doing the best that they can. It's not their fault they're not getting the shipment in. Don't be spraying people with Lysol. Uh, and again, just, be good citizens, be good people.
So, to reiterate all right, I'm going to say this because I got to get it out of my system. For the president of the John Cena fan club over here, we have to protect ourselves, stay safe, and just people be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Don't be stupid in all seriousness. And I joke a lot with you, and I love to like bust your buttons as you do mine. That's what we do. But in all seriousness, what adhere to what Brittney Savage said, stay safe, be healthy, and just try to be positively proactive during these tough times.
Yeah.
So for Brittney Savage, my name is Mike Larkin. This concludes another edition of Max Wrestling in the Hot Seat. My buddy, my pal, the GOAT in my eyes, one of my favorite females, one of my favorite people in the world, Brittney Savage. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Bye, guys.